Corruption in politics. That's what we're going to talk about today, because as I titled this live, how is this legal is the question I'm going to ask. Now, once again, I got to plead ignorance because I don't have an explanation for this, because I've seen other folks go down for the same thing. And here we're not hearing anything as much as a peep from half of the politicians in this country, if not a little bit more than half, because the Republican Party is now the party in charge. Now, I'm going to give you a couple politicians you may be aware of. Senator Menendez, you may have heard of him recently, accepting gifts from Egyptians. I believe it was Egyptians. He had gold bars and a ton of money at his house, and he's been brought up on charges. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, Santos, the congressman out of New York, a Republican. Menendez is a Democrat. We're going to talk about Santos, who lied his way into Congress. Once again, someone that finagled all sorts of gifts and all sorts of tricks and trades to get where he's at. And in more recent times, the current mayor of New York City. He's also been dealing with Egyptians and having building codes altered to favor foreign entities, to have them give him gifts in return for what he's been doing. So where does this tie into President Trump? I gotta ask, because I'm literally baffled how this shit is not getting more attention from at least those on the right. The left is crying out about it, but the nation of Qatar, Qatar, if you want to pronounce it that way, depending on where in the world you live, Qatar, Qatar, it's called both names. They're going to be what they refer to as gifting President Trump a luxurious 747. So luxurious in nature that he's going to fly in that shit instead of Air Force One. And you can only imagine how many luxuries are in Air Force One. So it's a step up from Air Force One. I believe they've stated it's probably the most luxurious aircraft in the world. They're going to give that to President Trump. They call it gifting. Now, there's two issues with this. I'm pretty sure you can see where the hell this is going, because it should be pretty damn obvious. But number one, there is the Foreign Emoluments Clause. That's part of our Constitution that prohibits politicians from receiving gifts from any king, prince, or head of a foreign state. For obvious fucking reasons. Why the hell would someone give you a jet worth tens of millions of dollars? But I'm going to ask you in the comments, if your favorite President Trump, you are the one I'm particularly addressing on this. If your favorite President Trump, do you believe that Qatar, a Middle Eastern nation, is just giving this jet to President Trump with zero expectations? They simply just love the guy that fucking much? Let me know in the comments. Do you have any problem with this at all? Would it help if you were to deflect to Biden or Hunter Biden or some shit that maybe Obama did in the past? Nancy Pelosi, allegedly getting involved in insider trading. Would that make it sound better? That he's receiving a jet worth tens of billions of dollars? If you don't see any corruption in this, you're fucking blind. Why would a nation just do this? No expectations at all from Trump. Is there anybody that believes that? Am I analyzing this improperly by suggesting that it is highly likely that Trump has made some kind of backdoor deal with the nation of Qatar or Qatar for them to do this? Keep in mind, after he gets this aircraft and he's flying it around in place of Air Force One, once he is done with his term, this doesn't pass down to the next president. He gets to keep it. So they're not gifting it to the country, they're gifting it to him. He literally is receiving this to keep himself. Everyone else is told that anything that the president is using while in the course of the job belongs to the taxpayers. It is the property of the U.S. citizenry, the U.S. government. He gets to keep this. Now, the claim is that once he's done, it's going to go in the presidential library. But I will tell you right off the bat, that's straight up bullshit. If he's flying around on this luxurious jet that's so damn luxurious, he's going to fly it in place of Air Force One. Once he is done with his term, you think he's going to put that thing in a museum and go back to flying that jet that he owns that looks like it's about the size of some shit they fly for Southwest Airlines? There's no way in hell that's going to happen. They're lying to you now. They're lying to you right now. That jet will be used for the rest of Trump's life. Why would you take a step down that far? There's no way in hell he's going to put that in the museum. So they're not being honest about it, but also, how the hell is he allowed to receive a gift of that magnitude? Now, I'm simply coming at you, not from a standpoint of bashing Trump, which I know it sounds that way, but if you favor Trump, how would you view Biden, Obama, Hillary Clinton, or any Democrat receiving a gift of that magnitude, and Congress not saying a damn thing about it? Would you be willing to believe that a gift was given like that and the person giving it or the country giving it wants nothing in return? A Middle Eastern country? And last but not least, before we wrap this up, imagine the security risk. Imagine the security risk. Now, the Secret Service has stated that it'll take about a year to go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it's safe to fly. But I'm going to tell you, when you're talking about something the size of a 747, there's a hell of a lot of areas where you can hide shit. From the wiring to the paint to the electronics and the programming of it. There's a hell of a lot of ways to hide shit that is adverse for the president's safety in a jet that's that size. I mean, you could hide shit in the tires, anywhere. I would assume the Secret Service will be thorough, but why the hell would you take a risk flying a Middle Eastern aircraft with the president in it over our country like this? Why is there no outcry on this? Why is there no outcry from the right? Do you excuse his actions just that much? And this is an addition, when we're talking about giving gifts and not having any expectation, this is in addition to Trump creating his own cryptocurrency where anyone can make contributions and purchase crypto, and no one has any idea who's making the contributions or making the purchases. Trump is the primary owner of his coin. So as other folks make huge purchases of that coin, the value of his shit goes up. So if you want to move money to President Trump, just buy a lot of that particular crypto. So there's all of these avenues being open to funnel money and gifts to Trump. If he can accept a jet worth tens of millions of dollars, what else can he accept? What else will he be allowed to accept? At this point, he essentially is selling himself to the highest bidder. Keep in mind, he also was selling invites to Mar-a-Lago, to the White House, to have dinner with folks so that they would get access to him. How is anybody not seeing this stuff? Is it wrong to point this out? Is it Trump derangement syndrome to discuss this? Should we shut the fuck up and just simply let him do whatever the hell he wants because it's going to be better for the country? Should we just blindly trust that despite how bad this stuff looks, nothing nefarious is going on? Talking to you, MAGA, in particular, let me know in the comments. As always, feel free to smash that like button or the damn dislike button. Subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bells to see you in the next video.